Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation for data visualization. Our topic is development and carbon dioxide emissions, uncovering global patterns through interactive, multi-dimensional visualization. I'm SHENGZHI. Our presentation includes 5 parts, so let's go to the first part, background. Currently, global climate change has become an increasingly critical issue. This project aims to explore the relationship between carbon dioxide emissions and various economic indicators, providing data-driven insights to support future global climate policymaking using the data from OWID. Then let's go to the second part. We developed an interactive, multivariable exploratory D3 visualization to examine global data. In this view, we focus on the top 20 carbon dioxide emitting countries. The x-axis represents purchasing power parity (GDP), the y-axis representing carbon dioxide emissions, and the bubble size indicates population. All variables are displayed on a log scale. From an aggregate perspective, we can observe that the United States, rapidly growing China, Russia, Japan, and emerging India all rank among the top in both emission and GDP. But when it comes to carbon dioxide emissions per capita, we see that developed economies such as United States and Canada rank at the top. In contrast, China and India started at relatively low levels, still remain below the leading countries.
In Part 3, we focus on decoupling. Decoupling means economic growth no longer depends on increasing carbon emissions. We use the TAPIO index, which tells us whether emissions grow faster or slower than the economy. Now, Figure 1 shows each country's trajectory. If the line goes right and downward, that's strong decoupling like these 4 countries. Right and slightly upward means weak decoupling like China and India. Steep upward means negative decoupling like Vietnam. We also see Ukraine is strange and the line changed the direction. Figure 2 is a heat map that shows decoupling status across different time periods. China shows gradual improvement, while the UK turning red in the Brexit period. Vietnam remains mostly in negative decoupling, so short-term changes, especially the red ones, may reflect temporary shocks. So we need to focus more on long-term trends. Figure 3 is an interactive map. We also add recession category, where both GDP and emissions go down. We can choose any year and see the global pattern, and by hovering over each country, we can get more detailed information. So overall, it makes the data much more easier to explore and compare.
The theme I focus on is after electricity becomes cleaner, can this improvement actually be transmitted into broader emissions reduction? First, let me clarify some terms. I have developed a visualization dashboard for my research, which includes 3 charts. First, let's have a look at chart 1, which shows country trajectories from 2000 to 2024. We have low carbon electricity share here. The y-axis is carbon intensity. Most countries move clearly from the upper left to lower right. In other words, low carbon expansion is quite consistently associated with cleaner electricity. But what about carbon dioxide emissions? Chart 2 shows the overall change for each country over the same period. We can classify all these countries using 4 quadrants. What we hope is that they go lower right. And we can see not all countries end up in the lower right quadrant. This means low carbon electricity expansion is important, but does not automatically lead to overall emissions reduction. And we can use chart 3 to better understand what the cases we find in chart 2. For example, Japan, whose energy structure changed dramatically around 2011 because of the nuclear power plant accident that year. To conclude, increasing the share of low carbon electricity most directly and consistently improves the power system itself. But whether this improvement can be further transmitted into lower carbon dioxide emissions, it depends on more complex conditions.
And finally, let's go to the conclusion. This visualization shows the impact of each country's annual carbon dioxide emissions on global temperature increase. It clearly highlights the urgency of reducing carbon emissions. We recommend that global organizations can design tailored policy to each country's circumstances. Only in this way can we collectively move toward to a greener and more sustainable future. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.